everybody, and welcome to a questionable wild ride with Steve-O. We've got Bert Kreischer and a big question mark. I thought that the answer would have revealed itself by the time I recorded this intro, but it hasn't. We don't know what's happening, but we do know for sure that I'm going out in August to North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, and those shows are going to be outrageous. Get your tickets at steveo.com. And, oof, is this just a heavy and compelling and funny episode? Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the universe, I bring to you for the third time on the Wild Ride podcast.
I think I was your virgin.
Yep.
I think I took your cherry.
Yeah.
I remember that day.
Oh, number one? He was the first?
That was the first one you recorded. I don't think I was the first one.
First one we recorded in this.
Yeah, I wasn't the first one you posted. I think it was like maybe Tony Hawk.
And it was a different van, right?
No, it was this one.
Yeah. All right. Bert Kreischer.
All right, can we talk about it right away?
Sure, man.
I'm so fucking bummed that you don't have tits right now.
Okay, so I sent you a text. I said, "Hey, dude, Bert," cause I looked at your schedule.
Yeah.
I said, "Can I record with you on July 12th? It'll be the day after my breast implant surgery, and I want you to be the first person I talk to after I get my tits." And you were like, "Oh, crying emojis. That's great. That's so funny. Yes, I would be honored."
I canceled the 2 Bears for this. I did. I told Tom, I was like, Steve-O's getting tits. I'm done.
Right.
And he was like, "Are you fucking serious?" I was like,
Okay.
"Yeah, pull it out. Let's go."
Now, let's be clear here, dude. In no way did I back out of this.
No, you did not.
There is literally a hyperbaric chamber set up in our house in Burbank.
So you could recover?
Apparently, it will speed up the recovery process times 2. There's been a nurse scheduled to come give me IVs for 5 days in a row, like a 2-hour process. Like the surgery's paid for, like all the way through the whole thing. And then like at the very 11th hour, the night before the surgery, the anesthesiologist backs out because there's all these stories on the internet about it.
Really?
Yeah, I seem to have the same problem you do, Bert. I can't shut up about it.
I'm gonna devil's advocate for a second.
Sure.
So I'm your anesthesiologist, and I find out day before the surgery that we got Steve-O, and I see the social, the footprint's fine. Here's why I would have backed out. There is a plethora of videos of you fighting anesthesia.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like fucking going, "Hey, let's have a pillow fight with O.J. Simpson." You go, "This could go wrong." You're fucking sorry, O.J. But like I was like, will you allow the anesthesia to go, or are you gonna fight it? Were you going to fight it again?
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, I'm like, it's always a joke that, they're never going to be able to knock me out.
The most disturbing videos I've ever watched, I swear to God, are you fighting anesthesia. That it
Yeah.
haunts me. It haunts me. You're like, and they're like, "Fucking crank it up. What the fuck?"
Yeah, I asked Isaac, I was like, "Well, why does it matter? Isn't there HIPAA laws?" And he said the anesthesiologist is the only person that's not protected because it's life or death, or he's like responsible for your life.
Right.
So
I mean, okay, so now we're in this position.
I have let's stick on anesthesiologist for a second. So I have the opposite on an anesthesiologist. I got the best anesthesiologist ever. I had my elbow surgery after doing the movie. I might detach my tricep, and I had to go get it replaced. And you know me well enough that the anesthesiologist calls me, and he's like, you know, night before the surgery, he's like, "Hey, I just checking on you. We would talk real quick." And then I said, "Yeah, listen, man, just to give you a heads up, I haven't drank in 10 days. And he goes, "What?" I was like, "I haven't drank in 10 days. And he goes, "What is that? Are you an alcoholic?" And I go, "I don't know. Listen, man, I'm just telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. So like, I'm telling you, I haven't drank in 10 days. So I should be good. My blood pressure's good. I went and got my physical. I'm all set." And he goes, "Buddy, I put crack addicts down." And he's like, you're going to have a glass of wine tonight. Who gives a fuck? And I was like, for real? He goes, yeah, I fucking drank a bottle of wine before I went into surgery. Then my anesthesiologist says to me, he said, so what music do you want to go under to? And I went, I get to pick the music? He was like, yeah. I said, Creedence Clearwater Revival. I said, as a matter of fact, I go, can I shoot a promo video when I go under? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I got to move tickets at Red Rocks. I go, instead of counting backwards, I'm going to do a promo read for Red Rocks in my hand, and you put me out until the phone falls. Then I need you to take that phone, hit stop record, and just don't touch it after that. And he was like, done. Sold out Red Rocks because of that fucking anesthesiologist.
Bro, we
I
should call this guy.
I had the best fucking read. I go, I'm on a steel mat curtain going into surgery. Get my if I don't come out of this, there's one thing I just want to leave you with. I'll be at Red Rocks June 17th. And then he was like, you're going to Red Rocks? He was like, I know you're playing Red Rocks in the fucking video. I woke up out of my anesthesia, and the guy, I looked at him. I go, did we get it? And he goes, we got it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he was a fucking gangster, Mexican dude.
That's so sick.
Yeah, we should call this guy to do the work.
Right. Okay.
So go back.
It's so weird that you would want to film a promo.
But me and you share the same whore that lives inside us.
Right. I know.
You know,
dude.
can I tell you?
Yeah.
Swear to God. I'm in Florida. I'm shooting my latest Netflix special. And I'm thinking, I've always wanted a tattoo, but I've always wanted one specific one. I wanted the state of Florida right on my face.
Yeah.
Real fine line. State of Florida, small with the keys going under here. I've always wanted that. And I'm cool getting it because I go, if it doesn't turn into what it is, I can always get it removed.
Yeah.
But I want that. I'm with Big J Okerson, and he's like, dude, I want the Legion of Skanks right here. And I said, we should do it. And all of a sudden he goes, well, Steve-O beat us to the punch. He got a dick on his eye. And we're like, what? He's like, we can't do it now. We're going to look like we're copying Steve-O. I know. And by the way, I got to tell you, not as bad as it. It
No,
looks
it's
pretty
not bad
good
at all.
Yeah, it's very.
I would
cool.
leave it. I wouldn't. I was thinking you'd do it to get rid of it, but it's kind of a great story. Post Malone did that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the whole point of it was to see how long I last before I get it lasered off, and like I haven't had an urge to get it lasered off yet.
It's kind of endearing.
Well, we can have Steve do your tattoo.
I want like so good. And I was thinking maybe get it in green, right? So it's a little light, or orange.
Yeah.
So you got to be up close to see it. But that's the one I want to get.
You got to get it in FSU colors, buddy. Green and orange.
I should get garnet and gold. Oh, garnet on the outside filled with gold. That would be badass. And then everyone's like, I think you have skin cancer. I go, no, it's
Florida.
baby. I grew up in Florida.
Okay, so we are now in this situation where, let me tell you why there were news stories to begin with. You know, like I blurted it out in the past that it was my plan to get boobs, and that's just kind of me. Like I can't help it. I would have known better in like the last few weeks were it not for this very random podcast that I had sat down in Alabama called the X5 podcast.
Okay.
Where one of the guys on the podcast is just insanely wealthy. And he was like, I mentioned the boob thing, and he said, if you go through with that, I will pay for it. He says, I got my checkbook right here. Now, I had not even inquired as to how much this boob job was going to cost, let alone the fact that there's two surgeries, one to put him in and then another one to get him out. And I was like, oh, wow, like interesting. It felt maybe a little bit awkward, but I was like, oh, let's find out. So my guy calls up the surgeon, and he says, how much would it be for both surgeries?
Let me guess first. For both surgeries?
Both.
Well, they can't be equal. One's easy peasy. One's just getting them out, right? All you got to do is get a little coat hanger. And I'm going to say $25,000 to put them in, and I'm going to say $15,000 to take them out.
Wow. Well, the number that we were told was $55,000. And
What?
I was like,
All in?
yeah.
In and out?
Yeah. And the guy was like, oh, yeah, totally, in and out. So the guy writes me a check. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I was like, I just can't say no to that, you know?
No.
But it was like, part of the thing was that now this podcast is my boob sponsor. And so I had to promote the episode. It's kind of like part of the deal. And so, like, it went against my, better thinking. I was like, you know what? Drawing attention to this now probably isn't wise. But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm all in. So I promote the episode, and it's on my main social media channels. Next thing you know, it's on Entertainment Weekly.
It was all over my
everywhere.
feed.
All
It was
over.
all over my feed, and
Yeah.
I was like, I thought this was a secret. And then, and I was like, his chick's pissed. Oh fuck! And I was like, that's such a. But they do it like I don't understand because they do it to dudes all the time.
Yeah. Right. I mean, now here's the thing. I knew that this is just an absolutely nuclear idea. Let me ask you this. Do you have a nuclear idea that you think could be very, very profitable online? Well, if so, then it's all about Shopify. Shopify, whether or not you have a website, it is the gold standard of websites, the easiest way to build one. And whether your business is small or big, it gets bigger with Shopify because it is the gold standard of integrating every aspect of e-commerce. I'm telling you that's how I grew all of my business, and everything was just a struggle until I got with Shopify. And you can try Shopify for just $1 a month in the most risk-free trial if you go to shopify.com/Stevo, all in lowercase. Shopify.com/Stevo will open up a $1 per month trial period where you can find out how easily you can build a website and how easily you can integrate every aspect of e-commerce to grow your business no matter what stage it's in. It's the way to go for your nuclear idea. So one more time, shopify.com/Stevo, all in lowercase. Now let's get back to it. Completely get that, like, it's just inviting, like, more hate than I've ever even...
Hate?
I mean, just negativity in general.
Oh, negativity is not real.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Okay, but...
Negativity is not real. We've all felt it. You always want to leave a shitty comment, and then you do, and then a month later you run into the person, you're like, oh, I like that person. Why did I say that? So fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've responded to the shitty comments, and then they're like, oh, dude, I never even knew your response. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah.
Talk shit about Reese Witherspoon. It was a fucking mistake.
Why would you
What'd you say about Reese?
What the hell did you say about Reese?
I said if there was ever, I shouldn't do it again.
Yeah, don't do it.
It was like, look, I have this theory that everyone's ultimately a Karen, and you just don't know it until it happens to you, and then when it happens to you, all of a sudden it's like, fuck, you got to be really in front of that. And then when she got her DUI, that was one of my favorite videos. I loved it. And I just went off on it, and then all of a sudden someone was like, yo, Reese saw that. She's friends with Jennifer Aniston. I was like, oh, I didn't think she'd see it.
I'm a huge fan.
I've done it. I talked. I don't remember what I said, but I remember talking trash about Dax Shepard in a fun way on Two Bears early when we first started Two Bears and Dax started podcasting. We're just talking shit. And then I got a T-shirt from Dax Shepard, and I went, "Aw, I'm a huge Dax Shepard fan." What the fuck did I say? Like, I'm a legit, like, from punked, big Dax Shepard fan.
Yeah.
I grew up as a dude that looked just like Dax Shepard my whole life. And I love Dax Shepard's getting sober story. I love he dropped his bike on his leg, and he was like, that's what is his bottom. I loved all of it. And then you just get caught up in the moment, and you're talking shit with your boy. The next thing you know, you're like, what the fuck did I say?
What, he sent you a T-shirt?
Yeah.
What, after he heard that?
I think so, yeah. And I was like, it was kind of a gangster move.
Yeah.
I talked shit about Tom Green one time.
You're like, how did he get my address?
A long time ago, I just talked, I never thought Tom Green would ever know who the fuck I was. And then one day, this makes me nervous. I go on Instagram, and I'm blocked by Tom Green. And I went, wait, why would I get blocked? And I was like, one time I did say something about Freddie got fingered. And I was like, fuck. And then somehow reached out to him, and he's like, oh, I didn't mean to block you. I don't even know how that happened. And I was like, okay, thank you. I love Freddie got fingered.
Well, let me tell you, whether negativity is real or not, I have like a weekly group that I go to, like a recovery thing.
Yeah.
And this past week I went there, and I was like, hey, it was Wednesday, the night before the surgery is scheduled. And I shared at the group that, I know I'm a good guy. I know I'm not a bad guy. I know that my intentions are pure, and I know what I'm walking into, and I just can't help it because I don't know anything different than to go through with the dumbest idea that I possibly can. That's all I've ever known. It's the only thing I know how to do.
Follow
and
your
I
gut.
can't do any different. I do dumb things. That's what I do. That's what I am. And this is no different. And the group was very supportive. And then, after the group, I'd go out to dinner with one of the guys, and I get the call, oh, the anesthesiologist backed out. Now, to be clear, too, it's nuclear on so many levels. The position we're in right now, all of this press, has completely rattled, I'm told, the entire plastic surgery community as a whole.
Oh.
That
fucking high level of ethics they have. Those statues, those pillars of our society who have been fucking up women's faces legit, doing wild shit to fuck.
Well, right.
By the way, I just did it to plastic surgeons. Leanne's gonna go in for plastic surgeon. Be like, yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna fuck her
He's
face
gonna
up
fuck her up on purpose.
I just did it again. Negativity's real.
Right. And the response, from the doctor wants no credit. The story that
That's like the guy who fixes the script that sucks, and he goes, "Don't put my name on it." No.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Consulting fee.
right, and
Here we go. This is what I'll do it, man, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
I have chicks like that I hooked up with in college. I was like, you have a back door to get out of your place.
Yeah, and the legal representation has insisted now that I be drug tested, so that they have some basis in front of the medical board that I'm going into it of sound mind and body or whatever. It's just sound
It
mind.
would be easier if you just transitioned, because no one questions that.
Yeah.
They're like, no, his body, his choice.
Yeah, the reason why they wanted him, because we framed it as a stunt, so that's why it was more of an issue.
Right. Okay. So it's like, all right, And my initial reaction to finding out that it had to be rescheduled was genuinely one of, oh wow, this is interesting, because now, I have every legitimate reason to say, oh, couldn't happen. Doctors won't do it. I've got an out if I wanted to get it out. And my first reaction was, oh, this actually just confirms that I don't want out. This confirms that.
Wow, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So you're the guy that got dumped and then was like, I need her. You were kind of in the relationship and you're like, I don't know, we're hanging out, I don't want to put labels on it, and then she's like, are we boyfriend girlfriend? You're like, I don't want to label it, and then she's like, well, I'm out, and you're like, I love you. I want to get you pregnant.
Yeah. I suppose that's accurate. Now then, yesterday, on the day that it was supposed to have happened, I had a chance encounter with somebody who was evidently a transgender person. And this person said to me, hey, I want you to know.
Which one?
Boy or girl?
It was a girl with a very deep voice.
Today? Girl today?
This encounter happened yesterday.
No, but she's a girl.
Today she's
okay.
a girl.
So okay.
What, she saw the articles and she knew what was going on?
No. Today she's a girl.
Yeah.
Yesterday I met her. She said, hey, I want you to know I really, really respect and admire your recovery. I'm a person in recovery, and I also loved the way that you that you stood up to Bill Maher. And I just thought, okay. I said, thank you. That means a lot. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking wow, I'm not really rushing to blurt anything out right now. How do I feel about that? When my position has been all along that I believe what I'm doing, while I'm motivated to be wild and crazy and get laughs and entertain people, that it's also really genuinely a statement of body autonomy. And that I see that as not me trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but in fact, me being squarely on the side. And I had this real profound effect speaking with this person yesterday. And I thought today, on the way over to Bert's house, why don't I go to that same spot and see if I find that same person? And I did. I went to that same spot. I found that same person, and I say, hey, I was really affected yesterday when I met you, and they, oh wow. I said, I don't want to be presumptuous or a dickhead, but I just like really wanted like run something by you. Ran by the whole thing, and we stood there and talked for how long was it, Isaac? Like
Probably like 15.
probably
20.
like 15 minutes. And there were concerns that got flagged, which I had never ever even thought of, because you know, like in some of
Oh,
the
I got it. You're doing tit face. Oh, that's fucking no. That makes total sense.
Tit face.
Tit face,
Yeah.
because your costume is her culture.
I mean,
Oh no, I understand. You're doing it as a bit. When,
Well-
and when you back into it, you go, "This is about body autonomy." But for the person that lives it, for them, they're like, "But are you mocking my transition? Is it blackface? Is it tit face?" That's an interesting perspective that I did not see.
Is that what you're worried about?
that's not even what came up in the conversation. But I can see where that's a position. What did come up, and it had nothing even to do with my intentions, what I'm doing, but this person, she said, "Can I just tell you that, like, I'm not allowed to use the bathroom where I work. You know, like if Trump wins with the Project 2025, I'm likely to end up in an internment camp. That's what they're trying to do. Like, there's certain, like,
Is that what it says?
they rattled off like the most like genuinely heartbreaking like list of circumstances that you just couldn't even believe. They said that there's like this number, like 28 states that like it's illegal or something to be like you know, that by having their documentation, their say woman, female, that they there's a bunch of states where that documentation is illegal and they'd be arrested for just existing. Like,
But is that true? I mean, like,
Dude,
Trump came out and said, like, I have no idea what this is. I have nothing to do with this.
Regardless of the Trump thing, what I'm saying is that I had not previously understood or appreciated the level of oppression. It is legitimately heartbreaking. And it's also very heartbreaking what's happening to the environment with all the plastic that's being dumped in the ocean. Like, we're not that far away from plastic outweighing fish in the ocean. I mean, it's insane. And there's one company that really cares about bringing an end to plastic, and that company is Liquid Death. They sell water in infinitely recyclable aluminum cans, and their business has grown so big that they went from still water and sparkling water to all kinds of great flavors of sparkling water, then iced tea. This company's on fire, and for all the right reasons, because they've got a great attitude and they're out there trying to help the environment. And that is important. Plus, they're like a media company in that all of the stuff that they do is wildly entertaining. And that's why they're getting so big. They've got great stuff on their website, and you get a greater deal on it if you go to liquiddeath.com/Stevo. Plus, if you want to try any of their waters, their teas, you can get free shipping by going to Amazon Prime. They're in like every store now. It's just crazy how great this company is, how much they're blowing up. It's Liquid Death. One more time, support the podcast and check out all their stuff at liquiddeath.com/Stevo, and find it everywhere and get behind the movement, man, because they're doing good things. Now, let's get back to it. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of get it.
Which is kind of like cool that you put the same amount of thought into getting tits as most people that get tits. You're like, I just want my clothes to fit better,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you're seeing all the repercussions of it, and all of a sudden it gets heavy. I would argue that everything I'm taking big steps here, but I think the premise of this was entertainment and comedy initially.
For sure.
I think everything, you can whittle down all entertainment and comedy and find the byproduct of how it negatively affects somebody always. I mean, I've made 4 or 5 jokes already that have done it, but your intent is still comedy. And I would say with this and what's going on in our social media landscape and our media landscape and our societal landscape, it is loaded. But I would also say that I would understand your intent, but I'm also a fucking straight white dude, so like I don't really think too much.
I came away from this conversation today feeling like, man, I thought I just wanted to be wild and crazy and get laughs, and that it was okay because I wasn't I was very, very clear that my intention's not to hurt anybody's feelings or be disrespectful on any level. But now coming away from that conversation, part of me felt like I knew that I was making a statement of body autonomy and with my heart in the right place, but I almost feel like it's actually important to do this.
Yeah. No,
Right.
I think what's even better is go to those 23 states and get arrested in each of them. Just take your top off at a park.
Yeah, Trump
That's
gets
actually
elected,
not
you
a
have to
bad
go to the
idea.
internment
Dude,
camp.
you realize the press that'll go. You realize you'll become the Stonewall of fucking the transgender movement when you go around the world and out the states that don't allow transgender people to live in their states by you going and getting arrested. And you'll be like their Rosa Parks. That'd be fucking sick.
You'd be on the
And,
dollar bill.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just such a crazy.
Considering you haven't put a lot of thought into this, I have a few questions.
Okay,
My first question is, I wanted to see your nipples now. I wanted to see what they'd be like with boobs. Have you thought about your nipples?
I spoke with the doctor
Okay.
who asked, how important is it that you keep sensation in your nipples? And I said to
Let's
him,
go around the room. Let's go around the room.
Yeah.
Everyone, how important is it to you? Number 1, it's like 10. Scale of 1 to 10. I'm 10. I love nipple sensation.
I love nipple sensation.
Depends if I'm getting my nipples pierced or not, but
No, we're talking about
I
playing
know.
with
They
them.
wanted to pierce my nipples, and I would. They're very sensitive.
Oh, I see. I have very sensitive nipples.
Yeah.
And so I would want to keep mine. Go ahead.
my answer was, wow, you can make sure that my nipple sensation goes away. That is the best news ever.
Well, you've had an alligator bite your nipple.
I cannot stand it when people give me titty twisters. They just think that they're somehow entitled to do that.
Yeah.
They think that I'm gonna love it, and nothing makes me want to actually punch someone in the face more.
Wow. But what about the shape of your nipples? Do you have like women's nipples? You got great nipples for boobs.
I've got
you've got great nipples.
I've
And
got
I just realized you would have hairy tits. I just realized you'd have hairy tits.
What happens?
I mean, not for long.
What
You
happens?
shave them?
I'll be completely waxed, airbrush, no tattoos, like for a million different things.
What happens to the BB that's still in your boobs? It's gonna come out.
I
And
think it stays in there.
Oh, that's right. You have a BB in your boob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still in there.
God, tell them that. Then it's cosmetic. I'm really like nervous about this BB in my nipple. I just want to make it bigger so you don't notice it.
What are your feelings about like the polarizing word God, the universe, like the,
God?
yeah, the underlying intelligence?
huh?
Like because I can't help but feel like this whole way it's playing out, that it got canceled at the 11th hour,
Yes.
and then I have this chance encounter, and then this meaningful conversation. I'm like, whoa! I feel like it makes me think, wow, like the universe is doing something around this. Like
The stars have always aligned for me, meaning even when they didn't, like they did. Like I remember saying, so when I went to go shoot the movie, my very first day, I went on a jog, and I said, I'm going to jog every day, and I'm going to be healthy, and I'm going to party, I'm going to have fun, but I'm going to jog 4 miles every day. And on my first jog, a butterfly got in front of me on the trail, and it flew with me for my whole first loop. It flew in front of me. And I believe God put that butterfly there to say, you're on the right path. Do this every morning, you'll be great. And then the next morning I went on that path, and a tree fell in front of me. Might be like 5 seconds before me, it collapsed in the path. And I went, I'm on the right path. Like, I got to see a tree collapse, and I left at the perfect time, so I didn't get hit by the tree. Third day, there's a used condom on the path. I go, someone fucked on this path. This is a good luck path, right? Then in the middle of that, one day I go for a run, I do my jog, and I go, I still feel bloated and fat. I have a fight scene with my shirt off tonight. I'm going to run 6 miles. I'm going to run to the embassy and back. And on that embassy run, I pulled my calf. I get to the house. I put an ice pack on my calf. I take it to the set. And I'd not put anything in between the ice pack and my calf, and it burned all the skin, and I had a bubble. And because of that burn, I was super focused on my leg, and I wasn't paying attention to my stunt, and I fucking blew out my tricep. And I thought God had put me on the wrong path. But had that not happened, Leanne said, had that not happened, maybe you would have gotten really hurt. Or maybe you got to look at everything as glass half full. Everything as an opportunity of God putting you on the right path. So I firmly believe the stars have consistently been aligned. I got cheated on when I was in college. Dated a girl for 5 years. She fucked my best friend, gave me the clap. Now, that happened. Broke my heart, destroyed me. Argued that is when I started really drinking pretty heavily from then until my adulthood. Had that not happened, I would not have been in a different apartment when Rolling Stone magazine called. I would not have been taking a bong hit, and I would have not gotten written in Rolling Stone magazine. If I had stayed with that girl, I'd be selling boats in Orlando. Mm-hmm. I got cheated on. Everything is destined to happen the way it's meant to happen. Everything is an opportunity. So I believe wholeheartedly what you just said, that this happens, everything happens for a fucking positive reason. Everything. Right. I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, but it's like the most difficult thing to realize in the moment.
Oh, of course.
Because I've been going through some shit lately, and like I know that ultimately at the end of the day, things work out. They just have been, but like in the fucking moment, it's the most difficult thing to realize and just like remember that like everything's gonna be fine.
Oh, especially when really bad shit happens. Like say that to someone who's molested, and they're like, "Well, why did that happen?" And then you're like, "Oh, I don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry. I don't know." I mean, but I try to look at everything as God is present, he's watching you, and he's taking you on the path you need to be on. So for whatever reason, that canceling of that is even in the small, if nothing ever happens to this, maybe there's a kid living in Iowa. I'm sorry that I used Iowa, but living in Iowa, and he's having questions about his own transition or his own autonomy with his own body. And he hears this and he goes, well, I like Bert and Steve-O, and they seem to be pretty cool about it. They made some jokes, but they seem to be like supportive of anyone's decision in their life. And maybe you help that kid, or maybe you help 20 kids, or maybe I always look at everything like that. And I think what's fascinating is the conversation that's transpired since the cancellation of this breast augmentation, because all the conversations that are happening now are, I mean, that's the Barbara Walters interview. I mean, that's the one that's a little highbrow for it, but that's the conversation that's even more important than you showing up with tits, is you not being allowed to get tits, and then you finding out the states that don't allow tits, and you finding out the having the conversation with the trans lady who is, or just the lady or whatever, who tells you how she feels. Right. It's really fucking fascinating.
So what did she say about the whole thing that you're doing?
Some of the hidden camera pranks where I find different ways to completely cover my face and head from the shoulders up. Mm-hmm. And from the shoulders down, I'm waxed, smooth, like airbrushed with zero tattoos.
Hot piece of ass.
Yeah, oiled up. I've lost like almost 20 pounds to be as petite as I possibly can. And then like in these different like kind of high pressure situations, I like pull off the what's covering my head. And there's a high pressure reaction in each of these scenarios. That was a sensitive piece because, like the idea. I'm trying to word this correctly, but
I can word it perfectly.
There's
I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's the sensitivity in the transgender community that what they're trying to do is trick people into. And like to put people in situations where you trick them into being gay. And
It's called the movie The Crying Game.
I didn't think of it like that.
yeah, and
Wow.
Think of how many. I know that I'm a comedian, but I also have a father and I'm of a sensitive heart. But think of all the trans females who are just looking for love and just connect with a dude, and they shoot their shot and they kiss, and the dude starts moving faster and things happen, and all of a sudden he finds out, Crocodile Dundee style, this isn't what I thought it was, and then get fucking stomped.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sad. That's heartbreaking for me. I mean, I don't know what it's like to tell someone you're trans before you hook up. I don't know how that happens, but I'm certain I know me. I don't like confrontation. I definitely suck a dude's dick before I told him I was trans. I'd be like, "You just giving you a heads up? I sucked your dick. I swallowed it. We're good. Your turn."
Or do it while you're doing it.
Yeah, do it just in the middle, right as you start.
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's the peekaboo factor is like is probably got to be very sensitive.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and in my view, the I mean, I don't know, dude. Like it's that's like in my view, it's undeniably funny.
Oh,
Well, yeah, it's still
bro,
really funny.
It's. I mean, I hate to say this and back to the comedian side, but like the bro factor. If your boy hooks up with a transgender chick and he doesn't know, if you walk in the room and tell your boys, there's a big laugh to be had. Like, oh, shut the fuck up. So that is an authentically. I mean, it's the you thought the thing taking the mask off of anything is like a ta-da moment. And so yeah, I mean, I understand that would be the comedy in this is that, yeah, and I can understand that the comedy in this for us is the exact opposite for them.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I don't know, have you ever seen the episode of Jamie Kennedy and when he wore blackface to the 3-6 Mafia show?
No.
It's the funniest thing I've ever fucking seen. And you're not supposed to laugh at it, I guess now. You're not. It's the fucking... I've never laughed harder at one episode of television. Jamie Kennedy's... And Jamie, you know I love you. I got your back. We talked about this on my podcast. You cannot find this footage. It has been scrubbed off the world. Him and Stu Stone. Jamie Kennedy's doing a audition to play a black guy with Tracy Morgan. So they dress him up in blackface as a black guy, and he looks like a black guy. I mean, it's perfect makeup. And then Tracy Morgan says, you know, you want to be a rapper, what you should do is both you guys should get dressed like this, go down and do the 3-6 Mafia show, do it in front of an all-black crowd, show them how good you are, then take off the blackface, and they'll realize you were white guys. And they go, that's a great idea. So they don't have all the good makeup left for Stu Stone, so they dress him as the most hysterical, I mean, not racist. He looks like almost like Satchel Paige. Like he just looks like an old black man. And they're driving in their car and they're dressed as black dudes and they look like black dudes, but they're talking like each other and they're like, is this a good idea? And then they walk into 3-6 Mafia's dressing room as black dudes. They don't tell the 3-6 Mafia. Everyone daps him up and then Jamie's like, it's Jamie. And you watch these guys go, the fuck? It is. And then they go out in a room in Long Beach. It's in Long Beach. And they go and perform their hip hop and then take off their blackface. And the crowd is like, what? But you're accurate in that assessment, that horrific thing of dressing in blackface or whatever. In that presentation, it's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. It's one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. There would be a lot of scenarios, I'm not going to list them, where I think also, once again, it's not like Anderson Cooper's doing it.
I suppose it's a fair point that who somebody is might have bearing on whether what they're doing is bad or worse. But that's not always the case, man. There's some habits that are just plain bad no matter who you are, and the way to drop that bad habit is to replace it with a good one. And that's what Fume is all about. Fume is a diffusive device, which I always have in my pocket because I love it. And it replaces bad habits with a good habit. It's flavored air. It's got a flavored core, and there's nothing unhealthy about it. It allows you to trade in dangerous chemicals with flavored air with, just a good habit. And if you go to tryfume.com, tryfum.com. That's tryfum.com. And use the promo code STEVO. For a limited time, you can get a very killer gift with your purchase of the Journey Pack. The Journey Pack being everything that you need to start your journey to a happier, healthier you without that bad habit. So one more time, go to tryfum.com and use the promo code STEVO to get that free gift with your order of the Journey Pack. Now let's get back to it and ride it out.
You're doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly what
you're doing it.
Exactly. And your
You can
intentions
edit this out. You
behind
can
it
edit this out
are
if you
pure.
want, but like if you went to South Padre Island and did it at spring break and then revealed it's Steve-O, it's a ton of fucking love, of hysterical, holy shit, that's fucking wild.
Dude, I went to a beach with a Wizinator. Like, and
Is he in the Wu-Tang Clan?
Lord of the Rings.
A Wizinator is like you go to the bong shop, and this is like a fully fake penis that you can pass drug tests with. You connect it to like a clean batch of pee, and then so you can actually pull it out and pee in front of somebody and like provide a sample. So it's like just the most real. I went and bought this thing. It's called a Wizinator, and I went to the beach with it filled with water. And I just went up to dudes who were laying out sunbathing and pulled out this, and like we filmed it, like me just squirting water out of this Wizinator. So they feel it, they look up, and there I am, like blatantly with a dick in my hand, like peeing on them. And they're like, oh my God, Steve-O? And they're so stoked. But we kept doing it until like.
Until one wasn't.
Until somebody wasn't.
I want to meet that guy.
Ooh,
He's like a Marine.
It was a very, like the guy said, okay. He said, okay, take off your glasses. And
Oh
you know,
no!
like,
Oh, I hate real talk. I hate real talk. Oh, I hate real talk. Oh
like,
God!
What does that mean? Like,
He's gonna beat you up. He doesn't want to break your glass.
There's a universal rule that you don't punch a man who's wearing glasses.
'Cause it's a
First
felony.
thing he says.
It is.
It's a felony if you punch somebody with glasses on.
First thing he says is take off your glasses. I'm like, oh, and then he says take off your shirt. And then he says, turn around. He goes, oh, I almost killed you. He goes, I'm a Marine. You know, like he was like a big buff.
Sometimes that's the funniest person to do it to.
For
Like
sure.
if you're looking at comedy,
For sure.
obviously you don't do it to the one dude sitting by himself
Yeah,
who's
dude.
like scrawny or really overweight and he's like nervous to take his shirt. You don't do it to that.
Never would have
You
been.
definitely do it to the Marine.
It never would have been okay to even put that out if I had not done that to somebody who wasn't okay with it and was gonna like be, you know.
Yeah, who was that YouTuber that would like wear yoga pants and bend over
I
and
was
grab
just thinking
something out
about
of their
that.
trunk and
That
then
was
like
Fusi.
dudes are walking by like, oh shit, and he turned around like, what's up, dude? And they're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Fusi Tube did that.
Fusi.
Yeah.
He's a wild one. I
Yeah.
met him like probably 10 years ago, right when he was like just popping. And then I watched him like he's wild.
Yeah, he's back streaming again.
He is? Mm-hmm. I was watching his stream when he was getting in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening.
I've been communicating with him on Instagram DM about getting together to record an episode. He says
He's sober?
super down.
He's sober. He was sober and he was lost a lot of weight and he's in great shape. He was overweight before. Kind of an inspirational dude. I don't follow everything he does, but like I know him.
Yeah, I'm very interested to talk to him. And I can tell you too that I'm no less full of confusion than when we started. And I, you know, I don't like. Here's the thing: is that like I'm quite positive that when I do the intro for this episode, like that's gonna be the reveal of whether like because who knows if the doctor backs out? Who knows if like there's like it's such a high pressure cooker situation on every single level. The doctors, the lawyers, the community. Like never mind, you know, like on every level. Like this is the most lightning rod of a thing, and who knows what's gonna happen.
What's been the internal like friends and family and like what's that been like? Because once it went viral, and everyone started talking about it, I'm curious to see who are the weird reach outs. Like did Novak reach out to you? Did Johnny Knoxville reach out to you? Did anyone reach out?
You know who?
Oh no, I only say Novak because he's a pretty present dude. Who's like I really like that guy, and he seems like someone who would be like, "Hey man, I'd love to talk to you," you know.
Just like
Yeah.
level-headed.
Yeah, no extra shit.
I reached out to some dear friends myself at one point, like because I've gone back and forth on it, and I reached out and said, you know, I feel scared because I'm a sensitive guy, and the idea of a lot of people saying really mean things about me scares me. And my friend said, the one friend said, "What are you worried that they're gonna say? That you're an idiot? You know, like what else is new?"
Yeah.
You know, like, do you really think that it's going to be shock and outrage that Steve-O's gone and done something, like, incredibly stupid? Like, that's who you are.
It's your
That's what you
brand.
do.
Your brand's always been fun.
I've had people say, why not do it with prosthetic boobs? You know,
Too
like,
easy.
yes, if, like I could have put a hook through my face and gotten in a pool with a fake shark.
Yeah, I would argue the prosthetic boobs. Anyone could do that. Well,
Right.
okay, what
Like
about like starting with a BBL?
We
Can you
thought
get
that.
Can you get them removed?
Yeah,
I think
don't-
those are like, you know, pretty dangerous surgeries too.
Oh really? Oh, what about going to a different country?
We tried.
Do you like the way my? I know a
Oh,
dude.
that'd be
I know
way
a
less
dude who
dangerous.
does them in.
I'll do it in Tijuana, dude. That'll be super safe.
I have friends. I won't say their names, but you can guess who they are, who won't put videos of them flying private because they're trying to manage their brand. They want to seem relatable to their fans, so they don't post videos of them flying private. Whereas my thought was, if I fly private, I am still a regular person. I will put this on Instagram because it's the coolest thing I've ever done.
For sure.
So like that's my, but it doesn't always work out right because people go, "Oh, look at this, you fucking changed." Apparently you don't know me. I haven't changed at all. I'm doing the same thing I would have done when I had no money. If I would always have done this, but I've stayed true to what my sense. It's very difficult to stay close to your sensibility because as things change in your life, you go, "Well, I got the fans here. I don't want to lose them here." And I know those dudes. They all pretend they don't fly private. They pretend they don't fucking buy Rolexes. They pretend they don't have nice cars. They pretend they don't have fucking... And I go, it's never been who I was. If I got a tour bus, you know me. I put that everywhere. This is my fucking tour bus. How fucking dope is this?
No more rap on it, though?
What? No, well, that became problematic. Because that was so... You know what broke my heart the first time I couldn't get a rap on it? The first time I couldn't get a rap on it, there was a point where I was like, what am I even doing now? Like, what am I doing? I'm not being who I am. First time I couldn't go out and party with fans because it was a liability, I was like, I'm losing myself. I'm losing who I am. Because who I am is the guy who gets out, gets done the show, goes, I'll be at this bar, I'll meet you there. We'll all go there. I'll take pictures for 2 hours. Tip out the waiters and waitresses. There was a period where I was tipping out so fucking thick because I was like, that's who I am. That's authentic to me. And when I started changing, I started going this, and it started right after the pandemic is the first time I couldn't wrap my tour bus. And they said, well, we're going to wrap another tour bus so people think you're in that one. And I went, no, it's my tour bus. I like when I wake up from a nap and I see people taking pictures out in front of my tour bus and they go, he's in there, Bert, you know? But at certain place, you know, some people aren't big fans of yours and they see that as an opportunity. And so, yeah, but it bummed me out. It bums me out, the change aspect of life.
Ooh. Yeah, I wrapped mine because I was inspired by you.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, oh, damn it, Bert.
I know.
Why did it become a liability with you going out and partying with people? I mean, because your audiences got bigger, because everybody just started showing up.
The more high profile you are, the more people end up disliking you. And some people, I will say, my heart goes out to them. They're dealing with stuff in their own life, and manifests itself into threats. And so when that started happening to me, all of a sudden everything had to change. Like security 24 hours a day, and fucking, it really sucks. It
Threats
really
in
sucks.
person or threats online?
Online. Never one person. Although I did have a guy recently tell me well, no, I take that back. Yeah, we had threats in person too. Yeah.
Is it safe to say that you haven't made it until you've got like highly produced like YouTube hit piece videos made about you?
Yeah. That's the move, man. It sucks. It sucks. Those videos suck. I mean, listen, I it's like, once again, I think a lot of them think I don't think we'll see it. Maybe you won't see it. There was a kid.
Oh, dude.
There was a kid. I wish I want to remember his name because he's a good kid. Fuck, man. Crack Amico. Very talented musician. Rapper. And he wrote a song. He honestly said I didn't think Bert would ever see it, about me and Tom, about hating us. And it was funny, and it was so insightful. I mean, it wasn't funny to me because it hurt my feelings, but it was so fucking deep cut. I mean, this guy talked about old clients my dad had as a lawyer. I mean, he knew everything. And they called me on Legion of Skanks, and they said, "Have you heard this song?" I said, "No." And they said, "You should listen to it." I thought it would be a good song. I listened to it. Then they called me back. I was like, "That fucking sucks." And they're like, "What do you think?" I was like, "Well, it's a good song, but I wish it wasn't about me." And then this kid did an apology video. He reached out to me. He said, "Man, I'm so sorry I did that. Got caught up in the hate game, and it was a way to get views, I'm paraphrasing for Crack Amico, but he said, I am a fan, and I've enjoyed the stuff you put out, and I'm sorry." And then he did an apology video on his Instagram and posted it, and those things stink. But it is a weird thing that you're not, if no one's hating you, you're not doing something, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to defend it because I've got a few of them. But
Right. I mean, like
if it's, I had a period, like right when I was at my worst, 280, drinking like crazy and really unhealthy. There was a Reddit, it was a thread about Reddit about me, how soon was I going to die? Bert's going to die. I didn't see it. Red Band told me about it, and I was upset. I was bothered. I was like, "Fuck them. Fuck, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm not going to fucking die." I remember calling Ari. I had a cardiologist appointment that I was training for. I was getting ready for it, and I called Ari.
trained for the cardiologist, but
Yeah.
not the marathon.
It's like a triathlon.
And I called Ari, and I told him about it, and Ari goes, "Well, buddy, is it true?" I said, "No." And he goes, "Well, wouldn't bother you if it wasn't true." I was like, "Oh." He's like, "People call you a hack. Does that bother you?" I go, "Oh, no, absolutely not. I'm not a hack. I'm a really talented comic." And he goes, "Well, it's bothering you, so it must hit a nerve. You must find there a little truth in it." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." And it's funny, any slam piece I've ever gotten on me, most of them, I've only seen the Crack Amico one, and then I saw the title to one and started to watch it, and I went, "This isn't good for me."
Yeah.
But the title of the one that I did see, when I started watching it, it was a little inaccurate. So I went, it didn't bother me a ton. It did bother me. It stuck in my head, but it didn't bother me a ton. And anytime anything's kind of reared its head, it never really bothers me because a lot of them are a little inaccurate. It's when they're accurate that it connects with you. And that's what's so crazy is sometimes they're so good at being accurate. Sometimes they're like, "Man, were you guys reading my diary? Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
But you also got to take it in that, take it with a little love, and that it's almost like Sports Center. Comedy's gotten so big that there are people making a living, making a good living, doing videos about comics. And I'd be honest with you, usually it's fair game on all comics. They don't have sides. They go after everyone. And so, I mean, think about how much hate Rogan's gotten.
Everybody gets hate.
Rogan-
If you're online. I mean, it's open game.
Have you ever seen a single negative thing said about Theo?
Well, no, but I don't look. Theo happened in my
And
career later.
Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee and Theo, I believe, are the two most beloved.
I don't search them out, so I don't know. And by the way, I don't look for, like, if I see something negative, it's not. I had to change my algorithm when at a certain point I had to say, like, all that's coming up is comedy stuff in my thing, and I don't want that. So I changed my algorithm to History Channel stuff, and on YouTube, History Channel stuff, Navy SEALs training, boat disaster videos. So, like, that's all I get. So I wouldn't see it, but I'm certain there has to be. If there
I mean,
isn't,
maybe, I don't know.
if there isn't now, there will be.
Yeah.
The thing with a comic, this is like the crazy thing that I started noticing. Once you can see someone do an impression of that comic, that's the fucking canary in the mine. once they can, because then you get a little predictable. I remember the first impression I got of me, and it was like searing. And it, like a guy was doing an impression of me, and I was like, God damn it, is that what I fucking sound like? Just, good one, Joe, good one, Joe. And I was like, the fuck? And then I was like, and then I listened to an episode of me, and I was like, oh, that is what I fucking sound like. And then that was the second I started seeing negative shit come up. So I mean, like, it's a slippery slope. I look at it with, you gotta greet everyone with love, even the people that hate you. You gotta just go, they're just doing them. They're doing them. It's the same thing we say about negativity not being real. They don't think you're ever going to see it. And the weird part about giving a cat milk is the cat comes back. So when you go to Too Lazy to Try and you give them the milk, then they go, this is now a business model. Mm-hmm. If I make more fun of him and it's good, he'll share it and I'll get more views. Which is, you can't fault that guy or girl for doing
sure,
that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I can also say, fuck that guy. You know, like, if he's trying to bash me, like,
this would have been fucking open season, like a tit job, but that's also the other part of it is that I don't know.
I mean,
you'd be shocked how few people Google you, and you're really Googleable, but you'll be shocked, like how many people just see the positive stuff you do and don't read the negative stuff. I had a negative comment one time on Instagram. I was about to go do a show, and I was like, man, a guy kind of lit me up, and sometimes I get the shrapnel just shows up. I can't help it. I go on Instagram, I hit on my page, I see how a video's doing, and I go, oh, nice. And the first comment's negative. I didn't go into my comments, but I see that comment, and I'm like, motherfucker. Go to his page, pretty talented guitarist, which makes me angry. And not done. He plays in his mom's house, whatever. But like, he's pretty good. I'm in my head about it. This dude, man, what the fuck did I do to this guy? I've just tried to make people laugh. That's it. Mm-hmm. Why does he hate me? I don't know what I'm doing for him to hate me. And then I went out in front of 19,000 people, and as I got on stage, I went, well, there's 19,000 people here that do not dislike me. They actually like me a lot. And then tomorrow night's 15,000 people. And then I'm on a successful tour, and then I go, oh no, that's just the tax I pay to get to live the great life I have, is you're going to have people that hate you, and you got to welcome it, because I think without those people hating you, you're not getting the people that love you. I think you gotta break eggs to make an omelet. I try to look at it. Trust me, I've gone through therapy about it. And and I'll tell you what really helped me is when I stopped drinking, a lot of that noise went away, and I stopped thinking about myself in that manner. When I drink, the next day is a fucking shit show, and I'm like, and I will allow that to get into my, and then I'm gonna save names. I was talking to a famous person, and this famous person was telling me, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it so you can't figure out who this is. This famous person was telling me, I'm gonna make it easy. I don't shoplift. I was like, I didn't know you shoplift. And they go, no, but I don't. That's what they say about me online, is I don't shoplift. And I was like, I never knew that you shoplift. And they go, no, but I don't. Everyone online saying I shoplift. As a matter of fact, I don't shoplift, and I give to charity. And I was like, okay, all right. And then I was with my wife that night, and I was like, hey, do you know that people think that they shoplift? And she was like, they shoplift? I go, I guess. I don't know. The internet says it. That person took what they believed to be a non-truth on the internet and perpetuated it into a truth almost. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started thinking, I got high with Tommy Chong recently, and he said, you can determine your reality. And I was like, I was really high. I was like, that's a fucking pretty profound statement. And in that moment that I was with that person, I realized they're determining their reality. They're allowing this negative comment to dictate their feelings about themselves, something they know not to be true. And then they're sharing it with other people, standing up for themselves. And I said, if it wasn't true, the fuck's it matter? Mm-hmm. And so there's a weird thing about that, I got into a fight with Leanne one morning, and I was sober at the time, and it was a bad fight, and it lasted in the morning. And I got in my car, I was going to get her coffee, and I was like, I'm getting this fucking bitch coffee. I was like, what the fuck? And then I went, hold on, why am I saying that? I was like, I love this woman. I've been with her for 22 years. She's delivered me great kids, a great fucking life. Hold on. That is the reality in this. That fight, that's a blip on the radar. That doesn't even fucking count. And then I was like, I wonder if I can change. It was after Tommy Chong, and I was like, I wonder if I could change my reality and ignore this fight and go in with open arms, apologize, say, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I love you. Let's have a great day. Within the drive to Starbucks and the drive back, I came in a great mood. I forgot why we were fighting. I knew it was there. Walked in, she still had that stink face on her, and went up and gave her a hug. I said, hey, I'm so sorry about last night and this morning. It's so stupid. I love you. And you know what? We should talk about this, but let's do it later today when we're detached from it. Let's have a coffee. Let's go play with the dogs. And it changed. That you can determine your own reality.
I had a very similar situation with Lux where she was like complaining about a lot of like little stuff that like didn't, it was just like, oh, and the more like she was like just zeroed in on like things that didn't matter and like giving me grief about it, I found myself like getting more, and I was just started thinking and more and more it started building up like, man, I don't want to live this way. I don't want to live this way. And then I stopped myself and I said, wait a second. It doesn't make sense that these little things are bothering her so much. So what's really going on? What's going on underneath that's causing this to happen? Because it's probably me. And I was like, yeah, okay. I've been so consumed in my like swirling around that like I'm just like not present. I'm not able to I'm like and maybe like I've been wearing her down with my lack of presence to the point where she can't take anything, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And so maybe I need to come to her, and this was all like while meditating in the hot tub, and I come back into the house after, and I say, babe, like I want to take responsibility for everything that you're going through. And in that conversation, it turned from she's, like it's everything escalates. It's like she's annoyed, and then that annoys me, and then I'm annoyed, and it just like ratchets up, and it ratchets up, and it ratchets up. But in that one conversation, it went from, hey, I want to acknowledge it, and I want to make an effort to put joy and positivity into our relationship, and then she does the same thing, and then that's what ratchets up is joy and positivity.
Guys like me and you can be a lot.
Yeah.
You can't blame our chicks for being exhausted for us, the internet for being exhausted by us. You can't blame anyone but ourselves. And listen, I want you to know, I take responsibility, but I'm not going to change. It's work. I'm not going to fucking, I am a fucking lot. I am a fucking lot.
Yeah. Wow, that's so freeing. It's so freeing to hear you say that.
Just realize, I'm a lot. I get it. I exhaust people, and there are certain people that I can really make lose their goddamn minds. I mean, poor Rogan. He's been a fucking amazing friend to me, and I've been exhausting to him at times. Exhausting. Where, and he's always stayed by my side. Leanne, I'm exhausting to her. Tom Segura. I bet if he could do it over again, he'd be like, I'll just do a solo podcast called One Bear, One Cave. I don't know. I mean, I'd never let him talk on the podcast. I interrupt him nonstop. I'm a lot. I'm a fucking lot. But once you realize you're a lot, and if you're cool with it, I try to measure it. Social media, for me, I'm trying to pull back a little bit on my stories because I was oversharing and I didn't know why I was doing it. I was just always on. I'm on the treadmill. What the fuck? Who cares if I'm on the treadmill? I just got out of the polar plunge.
I was going to ask you if you have a sauna and a cold plunge here.
Yeah, I do.
Dude, I kind of want to jump in after.
Cold plunge. I hope it's clean. We've been on the road for 2 months.
I knew that this was going to be a very, very therapeutic, cathartic,
It's a great. By the way, I got to be honest with you. I'll be very real. I think this has turned into a way better podcast than me playing with your tits. If you had tits, I was definitely going to touch them. I haven't touched another pair of tits in a while. Not fake ones, never.
Oh, I think
fake ones, never.
With consent, of course.
I believe this has been an absolutely compelling and important podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
I believe that I will end up with my D cup boobs.
D cup.
Yep. And under the muscle.
Oh, come
which is so gnarly. I do believe that, and what I didn't mention about the conversation I had with the lady, that lady offered to consult me in my approach to that. Now I don't know like what that looks like, and I don't know what, but to invite like meaningful consultation to get it right, and to do it in a way that that's not dickheaded. Because, dude, I care about not doing harm.
Yeah, that is never that. I don't think anyone's ever misconstrued that as your mission statement.
Right. And back to the universe stuff. Like, have you ever watched YouTube videos about near-death experiences?
No.
I'll keep this very short because I talk about it all the time. People talk about they have the experience of dying, and then what's called life review, where with profound, unfathomable detail and not the constraints of time, they re-experience their entire life as the people who they had influences on, and things, and the world. Like, so if every time that you made somebody feel bad, you feel that. And every time you made somebody
I don't know
feel
if
good.
I want that. Oh, good too. Good too.
Good,
Okay.
yeah, good.
I was like,
Don't
Jesus
worry.
Christ.
Yeah, good too. So like, you know, I'm super affected by that. Anybody can look up life review and see exactly what I'm talking about. I believe in it very much so, and I know that there's so much bad stuff that I have to like weather, that like as much as I can stack on good stuff. And I want my life to be an upward trajectory of positivity and love and joy and all the good things. I'm trying to stack my life review in good favor, and I don't want to do anything to you know, so
It's a profound statement to think, what will they say at my funeral? And I will only say that at your funeral, one person will go, hey, do you remember when Steve-O got tits? And the fucking place will lose it. I don't think anyone's go, actually, I was offended. I think the whole place will be like, oh, fuck yeah, he got double D tits
Not
under
double,
the
but
fuck D tits under the muscle. And then he was fucking hot, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
yeah, I mean, I really, I believe, and it's out of my control. I've literally put it in the hands of the universe.
yes.
If it's supposed to happen, it's gonna happen. By all indication, it's 90% gonna happen. And when I do the intro to this episode, I'm probably gonna be doing it with big ass tits, and we'll find out. But I just want to put it out there one more time that I care about not doing harm and making people feel bad.
I don't think. I mean, I'm glad you say that out loud. But I will say this as a fan of yours for as long as you've been doing entertainment. I think that is understood by anyone that's a fan of yours.
Well,
you know, it's like, especially when you shoot a special and you're like, you know, how's this joke going to be received? I had definitely on this last special, I had a couple jokes where I was like, the people that love me know, like the people that are looking to find the viral thing that I say to try to get views and try to hurt me or whatever. The real people know. Mm-hmm. The real people know.
Yeah.
It's like people were like, if I go to a strip club, people go, oh, what about your wife? I go, I've cleared it with my wife. We're good. We're solid. I don't need to worry about what you think. We're cool. Like, and that's the thing. My relationships with my fans and the people that are discovering me, I think they get it real quick of like, oh, this is a guy that's committed his life to his comedy and his family. That's it. It's not, there's no ulterior motive. I never talk politics. I never don't talk about a ton of social issues. I never try to hurt anyone. I remember very young in my career in Chicago, and someone was like, someone in the back yells, tell a retard joke. And I just didn't have one, to be honest with you. I mean, if I had one, I probably would have told it, but I didn't have one. And I said, I don't have that. And I saw this dude with his arms crossed as he said that. And I said, I don't have any of those jokes in my act. And I said, you know, my goal isn't for anyone to fucking come here and to ruin their night. And my goal is to get you guys to have a good time. And at the end of the show, that dude came up to me, big fucking dude from Chicago. And his wife walked up. His wife was gorgeous. And his wife was like, hey, we just had a son with Down syndrome. And I was like, really? She goes, if you had told a joke, he'd be beating the fuck out of you right now. But the fact you said what you said made him feel like part of the group. I just want to introduce you to him. He's not going to say what's going on. And he just comes up, very disconnected man. He was like, dude, I'd be fucking you up right now. And he goes, my kid got Down syndrome, just had him. And man, I had a great night because you. And he left, walked out. I told this on Jay Moore's podcast a long time ago. And from that moment on, I went, oh, so my job isn't to try to split the room. My job isn't, that's not my voice. It's not, I don't think people will look for it in me. And I go, my job is to try to bring everyone together, make sure they have a good time. Now, granted, you're going to fuck up a couple times in your career. You're going to do it. But it's never my intention for you to walk out having the worst night of your life. Like going like, that was and I've done that to people. I've definitely done that to people. But it's never my intention. Mm-hmm. And so I always try to focus on that. And I think, honestly, I don't think there's one person watching this. There's a couple, I'm sure. But one person watching this going, I'm a Steve-O fan. He was trying to fuck with them. Like, I think they're going... And I think after this conversation, they're going to go, wow, I didn't know he put that much thought into it after the fact. I'm glad that didn't happen. This is a great conversation. And, you know?
Yeah. Man. I'm really proud of my last special that I promoted on your podcast.
You're amazing, dude. You're amazing.
I'm fucking really proud of it, man. And, you know, I did my effort way back then to try to get the money back for it with the paywall. I respected the people who paid for it, like by not just turning around and giving it for free right away. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's now completely fucking for free at the top of steve-o.com. And
I think still I've seen people do that where they pay for it and then they release it on YouTube. Dude, the goal is the diehards. I don't have a problem paying for something to help someone that I love. So it's the definition of a fan.
Yeah.
And, you know, fans can be anything. You know, I buy tickets to the Rams game, but they play it on the TV. I don't begrudge the Rams for charging me. I'm a fan. I'm supporting them, or the Bucks. I'm a fan of a lot of shit. I'm a fan of Goose. When they release anything, I buy it first day of. Now, I could very easily text them and go, can I get a free one? And when they release it on Nugs or live shows, I don't begrudge that. Fans are cool supporting you doing what you're doing, and they also want to bring more people to you. And so when you release it, I don't think there shouldn't be one person going, oh, I got fucked. You didn't get fucked. You love the guy. You helped him do the thing you love, and you're letting him share it with more people, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And I just want everyone to fucking watch it, man.
Dude,
especially for people who are questioning, oh, man, this tits thing is not even funny or whatever. Like I need those people to go to steve-o.com and watch. It's free. Just click play and it just starts playing. I'm not asking for your money. Just go watch it because it's fucking ridiculous, and it's how I do it, and it's how I'm gonna do the next thing.
Buddy, you got this great podcast that I'm lucky enough to have been on 3 times that is free and people can watch. You put out a lot of great entertainment for free. For the person that's looking to save $1 but still wants to be entertained, you've got them covered top to bottom. I mean, I definitely understand that. I've been lucky enough where I've been with a company that allows me to make specials but still, you got to be a Netflix member to watch that special. I feel bummed for the people that can't see my specials on YouTube, but that's the way it is. But I try to get as much free stuff out as possible because I go, that's the thing. I wish I could get rid of fucking ads on YouTube. Like I have pay for YouTube because I don't want to deal with the ads, but my kids don't. My kids don't pay for YouTube. And every time they get into a fucking video, it's like, do you need Viagra? And you're like, oh, fuck. Like, I think you're doing solid by your fans. I think everything, look, I'm a bad fucking sounding board because I've loved you for so long. So you're not, like, I'm not, you should have this conversation with Bill Maher.
Yeah, it's true.
That's so funny. You know what? For the people that say, man, well, how come like he's cool with being around alcohol? It's because I'm not breathing alcohol into my body.
I'll tell you a story. I hope you're cool with me sharing this.
Sure.
You know, the other guy. Who's the guy who had the late night talk show on CBS with the Scottish accent?
Craig.
It's Craig
Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson. So Craig Ferguson's sober.
Great guy.
Great guy. Comes over to my house. I had been growing marijuana, and I had cased all the marijuana in jars. I had roughly like 8 pounds of marijuana in my man cave. And he walked in, and he goes, I'm gonna have to leave. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to leave. And I went, what? And he goes, I can't be around this. And I was like, I couldn't even smell it, but it was so fucking thick.
Yeah.
And he was like, hi, buddy, I'm in recovery, and I can't do this podcast. This is not safe for me, and I just need to leave. And I went, hold on, let me clear out the man cave. And I tried to clear it out and air it out, and you could still see he was like, I'm fucking off, man. And I didn't get it. But it's like certain things trigger you.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't mind if I'm not drinking and you want to drink. Never bothered me. I used to have a problem when I was barely smoking weed. If people smoked weed around me, I'd feel it, and it was I would feel
Well,
it.
yeah, I mean, breathing it in. Like
Yeah.
Bill Maher, like insisted on like
Hotboxing.
me breathing it into my lungs. That's
Yeah,
that's his drugs entering my body.
yeah.
Like that doesn't happen with if somebody's got a glass of whiskey. Your whiskey is in your cup. It's not entering my body.
That's really interesting. I was gonna have a drink when I came out here. I was like, well, I don't need it.
I
And was like,
wouldn't have cared.
I didn't think you'd care. I was actually really bothered by you wearing a Coors shirt. That really kind of
That's why
triggered
you kept looking at it.
Are you being serious?
I swear to God.
I was looking at it.
I know.
I swear to God.
That's so funny. Would you be bothered if Bill Maher was like just doing lines of blow on the podcast?
I think
I mean,
I would love that.
but
it's just the pot.
I would find that odd. But
Rogan's always been respectful. If someone doesn't do drugs, he doesn't smoke
dude,
weed.
everybody has. Man, Be Real was Mike Tyson's podcast is called Hot Boxing.
Yeah.
And he didn't smoke. It's ridiculous the level of prolific pothead that has just not felt it was so important.
I think Bill's also in a place where he goes, well, I'm not gonna not be me if you're not gonna let me be me. I guess is his defense.
And it's all good. Man.
It's all good.
I'm not even like that.
So you didn't get to go to his house?
It was like I didn't even. That story came out like maybe a couple of years after it happened. It wasn't something that I was like.
Yeah.
I mentioned it in passing, like because I was talking to Patrick Bet David, who I felt had been like pretty blatantly disrespected by Bill Maher.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I saw a clip of you with Bill Maher. I felt like that was disrespectful to you, and like just like anecdotally, like
Yeah.
I felt a little bit disrespected by him too. This was years after it happened.
I went to his house and was not drinking at the time and not smoking weed. And I got drunk as fucking high as shit in his house. So the second we got there, I was like, cocktail? And he was like, I just went, yeah. And he was like, you want to smoke? And I was like, sure. And I was like, wow, that happened quick. I was like, I need someone to pick up my car.
Yeah, you know what?
I was with another dude. This is how bad I am. I was with a dude, a very famous dude, who I did his podcast, and he didn't drink through the whole podcast. And I was like, cool. I drove there. Cool. We get done, and he's like, hey, you want to take a bong rip? And I was like, I would never do a bong rip in real life. I was like, absolutely. And we ended up eating mushrooms. And I was like, I don't do mushrooms. I was like,
so
what the fuck am I doing? I have no backbone.
Dude, but when's your special come out? Let's
Fucking February? I don't know. We just shot it, so we're trying to find the right time for it.
How great is Mike Calta?
Fucking
I was
the
just at
best.
his house for the first
He
time.
looks great.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just got,
fucking love that guy.
yeah, he's awesome. I've known him for as old as George is, 20 years.
How nuclear is it to get tits when the penis that's tattooed on your forehead is just not a big deal?
That's a big statement. That's a big statement. That they really glazed over your dickhead tattoo.
Yeah,
And
minor.
very minor. Everyone's like, wow, Post Malone did that. Hey, you're getting tits? Yeah. You need the biggest recording artist in the world to toot a fucking dick to your head.
Yeah.
And everyone glazes over it.
And you have something going on in September, right, in Vegas?
I don't know.
Residence.
The
Oh,
residency.
yeah. Residency at Resort Worlds.
Yeah.
Resorts Worlds. Yeah, I'll be in Vegas in September. I'm going this week. I go to Edmonton. I'm supposed to take 9 months off, but I just, I'm a whore.
Yeah.
So they got me in Edmonton this weekend, doing just one night at some campgrounds or something, and then I'm doing the Santa Barbara Bowl, and then we're doing a bunch of signings for our Poor Osos vodka.
Dude, I want to get on Fully Loaded next year.
You had an offer the first year, the
Yeah.
very first year. I sent you an offer,
I'm a stupid fuckface.
and I was like, dude, do it. And you're like,
Oh, dude, you know what? Like, I was like so concerned, like
I know you're concerned.
I was like, man, I don't want like my material getting filmed and put out there on the internet, you know. And like, and remember when I texted you, I was like, dude, what do you do with the fucking people screaming out at the show? It's so disrespectful to everybody else at the show. Like I fucking like, you know, like
What had happened is. What's interesting is that I was like, when you said that, I didn't want to reply. I wanted to be respectful of how you felt, but I was like, I'm working on an hour or two, and I just do it in front of them, like, and I was like, I don't really care. I don't think the cell phone videos affect your hour. I don't think that stolen material affects your hour. I don't know if people even post it most of the time, but and then the other thing was, the people yelling out at shows is a problem for some people. I think in arenas you don't really notice it so much, but I know that like I went and did some small towns, like towns of 1,000 people. I did their theater as a run, and there is a thing where they think they're helping because there's so many crowd work clips. And there's really great ones. There's really great ones like Mark Norman, Sam Morrell, Stavi. They're so good at it. There's Ian Bag. Big J's brilliant at it. Brilliant. I had Big J open for me. Not open. That's disrespectful. I had Big J go on before me. I've had him open for me, but I had him going before me at Fully Loaded, and he does all crowd work. But the second he got off and I went on, there was zero people trying to interact. But it is a thing that happens.
Right, and like I burned the fuck out of myself by letting it like bother me and like accumulate to the point where like when it would happen, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'd just snap on people, like, you know, kicking people out for yelling in the audience.
Well, it's Tai Chi. You gotta. Right? Is that Tai Chi?
Because
Push and pull.
Because I thought that I was like being respectful of all the people. Like this yelling out is disrespectful to all the people who spent their hard-earned money to come watch the show, and now you're gonna hijack the show and ruin it for them. And I'm gonna draw a hard line. I'm gonna stamp that out. When in fact, like overreacting to that, like it just sucks all the vibe out of the show and makes all the rest of the people think, wow, like Steve-O's kind of a dick. Like you know, like and I did that to myself. And fuck, I'm so bummed. Like when I see that's the comment that I see where I agree with it, and it fucking bothers me.
Well, I think that is also just hours into the occupation. Well, I've been doing it for 25 years, and so
dude, I've been doing it 13. I should know better.
No, 25 is different in that like I've just been doing it so long that if I do have it, I will address it, and then I will snuff it, but in like a very quick way, or I also have enough material that in my past that I can take whatever they said and turn it into something better and then transition and move forward. But that's just like, there are guys that I've seen it derail really great comics on stage, derail them, and great comics have been doing it as long as I have. And that is also, it's a weird thing, like I don't like confrontation, so I try to Tai Chi it, where I just take their energy and transition it.
I just did a run of shows.
I had someone do it at a special one time in Cleveland. The guy started heckling me, thinking he was going to make it better. And I was like, I was at Omaha, at first show. And I was like, what? I had a dude one time just start going, tweet, 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 tweet. And I was like, that's not helping anybody. I can't even make a joke out of that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm just really fucking committed to not freaking out on hecklers. You know?
You should go to the store and just do crowd work sets. Yeah. And just have fun with it and learn how to love it. Because crowd work is a weird part of, like, you know, I did the road so long for no money where people did not know who I was, and they would be drunk as fuck because I would get them drunk, and I would have crazy, like, dudes rushing the stage interactions, grandmas running on stage, like, just wild shit happen that you just do that so much that you don't get numb to it, but you just get used to handling. I told you know the story about the gangbangers getting on stage with me, taking their dicks out. No. 2 gangbangers in Miami.
Oh yeah, I do.
One dude took his dick out. Show your shit, son. And I was like, that's not gonna happen. He had a big dick too, and his name was, I forget his name. I remembered his name for a long time, and he was like, I was like, you should probably leave. And then he left. And then his buddy got light skinned dude with dreads. He took his dick out, even bigger. And I was like, you definitely should leave too. and then everyone's like, take your dick out. And I just was like, well, if there's one dick I want to see, there was a hairless albino in the room. I was like, it's yours. That dude stood up slowly, walked on stage, place went fucking bananas. I'm 35 minutes into my set, shows his dick. I grabbed the mic, I go, that's my show. And I dropped the mic, I fucking left. I was like, I'm not topping that. I'm not topping that.
How big was the albino guy's dick?
Fucking solid. It was like a lighthouse. It was like no hair, just white, just glowing like an orb, like a beacon of hope. Yeah.
Remember when you said, dude, can I show you my dick?
Yes, I do. And then and you said yes. I said no. That's not actual consent these days. You have to ask to see my dick. Dude, I've had some wild times with you on podcasts.
Yeah.
And this might be the most epic.
this one's epic, man.
This is the one they'll talk about.
Yeah. God damn it, man. I fucking love you, bro.
I love you, brother. I love you to death.
Yeah. I got dates coming up too, man. August next month.
Where you at?
Bismarck, North Dakota.
Love
Sioux
Bismarck.
Falls, South Dakota.
I love that
Eau
fucking
Claire,
run.
Wisconsin.
I love that fucking run, especially in the summer. God damn it, that's the country.
beautiful.
That's what the country. That's what America. When they fucking went through there to get all the way over to the fucking the West Coast. I would have stopped there. It is so fucking beautiful there. I love it,
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
dude.
Fucking
Minnesota.
Rochester, Minnesota.
Spend some time going to the lakes in Minnesota. They're fucking the lakes. Everyone's got a lake house, and they all go out, and the ground's soft. You dudes can survive skydiving accidents because the ground's so soft. I don't know if that's real.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think the skydiving depth is like very minuscule in Minnesota.
This is good to know.
The shows are gonna be great, as will yours at the residency
In Vegas, yeah, that'll be a good one. That'll be fun.
and dude, we care about entertaining our audience, man. Like we're a lot.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Yeah, just got to be a shark in the water. Just keep
I
moving.
just can't I can't help it, man. Like just say what you're gonna say. Like I'm a
We're-
lot. I
Listen,
can't help
we're
it.
sharks in the water, and every now and then they see our fin, and we don't know they saw our fin. But remember, we have fins, and people see them, and we just got to swim a little deeper.
All right, dude. Thank you,
I
brother.
love you, brother.
I love you. There you have it, folks. Bert Kreischer is somebody who I care about, man. Who cares about me? I just love him, man. And I love you too. I also really meant that about my bucket list comedy special. If you haven't seen it, it's fucking free. Go to stevo.com. It's right at the top of the front page. Watch the bucket list special if you're not aware of how I approach my comedy. And my approach to my comedy is evidently a moving target. And I'm going to use that to my benefit, man, to make better comedy. So we'll see you on the road next month in August in all of those places that I listed at the beginning. Tickets at stevo.com. And also just get over there and watch that special. Yeah, thank you for being on this ride with me. I love you a lot.